Yeah, I'm embarrassed for these motherfuckers, Jerry. Who? Anybody who spent any time in the last week and a half slurping on Steve from Blue's Clues is nuts. You niggas should be ashamed of yourselves, bro. Oh, Steve, you missed me. Steve, you remembered me. Nigga, he got paid a bunch of money to come back to fucking Nickelodeon and say this. He doesn't remember you. Nameless viewer, you're an idiot. Everything they say about millennials is true, and it's your fault. Like, nigga, you niggas suck, bro. Y'all ain't think about Blue or his clues in 20 years. You have not helped this nigga in his investigations in multiple generations. And we talking about some day, oh, Steve's back. Fuck you. Let's start the show, Jerry. Welcome to the Reigning Defender Undefeated Undisputed Most Secret Podcast on Jesus Christ's cruel earth. A little show we call Nobody Asked Shawn, hosted by none other than me, Chico Diamante himself, the Diamond Boy Shawn Murray, the Shogun's Decapitator, the Thin Black Duke, international heartthrob, heir to the Murrays, here, Pomade Fortune, and of course, the first Jamaican in the Kentucky Derby. And we got a big show for you today. We're going to talk about how men dress at the MET Gala. We're going to talk about the passing of the late, great Norm MacDonald. And we're going to answer some motherfucking questions. But first, let's talk about Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's balls. Was it cousin's friend's, Jerry? Was it cousin's friend's balls, Jerry, or was it friend's cousin's balls? I think it was her it was her cousin's friend, because that was I want to talk about that tweet that Nicki set out, because it was incredible. She wronged so many people that day. First of all, let's just go through the order. And this is not in order of the intensity of the wronging. This is just chronological order of how they were mentioned in the tweet and how they were wronged. Okay, first we got Nicki Minaj's cousin. And that nigga was wronged by Nicki because she put that nigga on blast in the sense that everybody in Trinidad knows that's Nicki Minaj's cousin. You know what I mean? Like, she's probably visited the nigga before. Like, they clearly have some sort of close relationship if they had this conversation. So, like, they all know who the source is. So everyone else in that tweet, the cousin, the friend, and the friend's ex-fiance have now all been identified, thanks to Nicki. And that nigga is looked at as a blabbermouth by the friend, and everybody in this nigga's community is like, bro, like, I can't tell you shit now because you might tell Nicki, and now it's gonna be on Twitter. Next, the person who was wronged probably the most, the nigga with the giant balls, the swollen bald friend, because he's like, bro, I was wronged on two levels. First, I was wronged by Nicki Minaj's cousin, whoever this nigga is. Let's call him Granville. This nigga Granville fucking... I told you my balls were fucking huge in confidence. Again, like, this is something that I would only tell to a close friend. Did not expect this to be all over Trinidad, let alone all over the world. Nicki Minaj is a huge superstar. Why would you tell people that my balls are swollen? Let alone Nicki Minaj. Like, bro, like, tell your, like, somebody locally. Yeah, I mean, why would you tell a huge pop star that my balls are swollen because of the COVID vaccine? He's also wrong by Nicki, of course. That nigga's like, bro, this is a sensitive issue for me, bro. I got a ball sack the size of a couch cushion right now, so I got enough issues as it is. I don't want to have to step outside my door and also now talk about it, nigga. I know that nigga had a microphone in his face at some point yesterday, because I know niggas tracked him down. He got tracked down. And also, he was wrong by Nicki Minaj because, nigga, this is not your place to say this. It wasn't even your place to say anything that your cousin said, but at least, you know, that's your cousin. You could deal with that amongst yourselves, amongst the family, my nigga. I don't know you, Nicki. You ain't never fucking come back to the hood and gave me no bread, showed me no love, nigga. Now you telling everybody my balls are giant. And finally, we have the fiance, or the ex-fiance, who broke off the engagement because of her ex-fiance's impotence and giant balls. She was wronged because I know part of her is like, I don't know what story. So as we're calling the cousin Granville, let's call the fiance Lennox. She's like, yo, I don't know what Lennox has been telling Granville, but I did not break off this marriage because of that nigga's balls. I broke off the marriage because he was cheating on me with 4 other women. She's like, nigga, the fuck? Where do you get that story from, Granville? Nigga, I broke up the marriage because that nigga has chlamydia. Apparently that's what that is. People were saying, like, the nigga don't... it wasn't a COVID vaccine reaction. It was just chlamydia. I'm glad to know that I didn't know this about chlamydia. I'm happy that I've never had chlamydia and I've never experienced those side effects. But I'm also happy to now know that that is a potential side effect of chlamydia, so I can look out for that. Shit just made you like your piss burn or whatever. I don't know. I don't know enough about STDs, which is a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to know too much about STDs because it usually means that you've had them, or it means you're an STD researcher or STI researcher. But even then, that just kind of means like you know about the nitty gritty details of certain shit. It's like sometimes knowing too much is a curse. Yeah, I mean, so I'm glad I don't know too much about chlamydia. But shout out to Nicki Minaj's cousin's friends who has chlamydia, man, and stop lying about the COVID vaccine. And I guess ultimately who was wronged most was everyone else who's like anti-vaccine, who's like, I'm gonna do more research, because now we've just exposed that the type of research y'all niggas is doing is just calling your fucking Caribbean cousin and asking him which of his friends has giant fucking testicles in order to use that as an example of why vaccines are bad. Like, what research? Like, the fucking I'm gonna do my own research niggas do not be doing research. They just be going about their lives regularly and then be saying as soon as they're confronted, like, oh, I want to do a little bit more research. I have never seen you reading a peer-reviewed article, like, once, ever. Even when we were in college together, I've never seen you do it, bro. You was copying off my papers, dog. Stop playing with this bullshit. What else we want to talk about? People said I should talk about the Met Gala. The Met Gala is fun, you know, whatever. My favorite part about the Met Gala is when it's when someone, and it's usually a male celebrity, shows up to the Met Gala and they just wear like a plain black suit, and you know, all the girlies and everyone on Twitter is always like, why the fuck did he even show up if he was just gonna wear a black suit? Because he didn't want to come in the first place. That's why he showed up. It's like me, like, nigga, if you invited me to a costume party, you gonna see me in the same black hoodie, fucking skinny jeans, and Stan Smiths that you'll see me in any other day of the week. I'm not wearing no costume, my nigga. And it's mainly not even because I'm like against costumes. It's like, bro, I would like somebody sent in a question, oh, like, you excited for Halloween? It's like, yes, but I'm not gonna get dressed up because I never do. And it's not because like I'm like above getting dressed up for Halloween. It's just like I don't think about this shit. Like every year for Halloween in like June, I have an idea for a Halloween costume. Like, I'm gonna be Rick from Rick and Morty. And then I think about that for like a day in June, and I don't think about it again until like October 16th. And October 16th comes around, like, damn, I should fucking probably figure out what I'm gonna do about this Rick costume. And then October 22nd rolls around, I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to put together a Rick costume. I should just get another costume. And then I don't think about it for another week. And then it's October 29th. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go see if I'm gonna just figure out if I'm gonna get a costume from Party City. And if you've ever gone to Party City anytime after like October 17th, that shit is hell. You're not gonna get a costume. It'll just be like, there'll be a Scream mask. There's always a Scream mask. And there'll be like pre-packaged costumes, but they're not complete. Like, somebody stole parts of the costume, so you're not gonna get the whole thing. So it'll be like a Viking costume, but it'll be like the helmet only has one horn, and it'll be the Viking axe, but it's only the handle. Somebody stole the sharp part, the blade. That's gone. So you just be like a partial Viking. You'll be a Viking with a bow staff. That's the type of shit to be on. So I'm like, I'm not buying none of this shit. So then I'll just not dress up, and I'm fine. This is how I am. Like, my best friends had a Toy Story themed party for their child. You're supposed to come dressed as a Toy Story character, and I came dressed as Shawn. That's who I was. I was Shawn. He's not a character in those movies. He's just me. And why was that? I thought about it. I had ideas for costume. I was going to come as Zurg. You know what I mean? I was going to come as fucking Duke Kaboom from Toy Story 4, which I don't even think their child had seen at that point. But whatever. And obviously the obvious costume for my body type is Woody, but I didn't want to be standard or whatever. I wanted to be like, you know what I mean, something different. You know what I mean? I wanted to come as the fucking, what's the Slinky? You know what I mean? Slinky dog. But I thought about doing some shit, and then I got too late, and I just showed up as Shawn, and it was fine. Everybody was fine to see me. So, like, it'll be fine. And the main thing, too, for the Met Gala motherfuckers, the men at the Met Gala is, my nigga, you're better off just going in a tux, because they're going to shit on you either way, right? If you go in just a plain black tux, niggas going to be disappointed. But if you go, you try to be avant-garde, if you try to be fucking out there and you fuck up, that's gonna be worse for you. Niggas gonna be on your head for at least a few days. You know what I mean? And you'll never be able to escape the image of you looking stupid. Niggas gonna be in anytime you tweet. Niggas is gonna be in your comments with a picture of you looking stupid. So just you're better off. You know what I mean? Because at the very least, you could just get a picture of yourself in a black tux. You know what I mean? I know celebrities aren't hard up for opportunities to get pictures of themselves. But hey, man, a nice picture at the Met is nice, man. Like, it's not about dressing up. It's about raising money for the Met. The theme is a suggestion. Because if it was that serious, if you wasn't supposed to not show up in just regular shit, they would turn you away at the door. They're not going to do that because they want the money for the Met, nigga. Fucking just as long as you paying a lot of money for your table and you fucking raising money to preserve art, who gives a fuck? Don't let these motherfuckers on Twitter have you out here looking stupid for the sake of their enjoyment. One of the greatest comedians of all time passed away on Tuesday. Norm MacDonald passed away. Norm is one of those comics where if you're not in the world of comedy or you're not like a huge comedy fan, you may not know his name, but everybody within the world of comedy, like, he's one of those respected guys. Like, he's one of those like pantheon like comic. Like, if you fuck with comedy, you know what this guy means, even though the rest of the world might not on the same level. Like, Norm was that guy. One of the most influential comedians of all time, one of the most respected comedians of all time. And it's because of his approach to comedy. Norm was just like, that motherfucker had no like sense of reverence, or like he had no time for pomp and circumstance or like decorum. Like, Norm was just gonna do whatever was funny and whatever he wanted to do, no matter what the situation called for. And that's why comics loved him, because it was like he was just gonna be Norm, and he was gonna dictate what was funny. He was not gonna let you tell him what was funny or what should or shouldn't be said. And Norm was never necessarily like a edgy guy either. Like, Norm would verge into like sort of edgy and dark territory, but he was never an edgy guy. Like, I think a perfect example of that is one of Norm's best jokes, one of his most known jokes, is his joke he tells about serial killers. And it's basically a joke that results in him talking about how he would kill a woman named Janice. And the joke never comes off as mean-spirited or misogynistic or hateful or anything, because he understands what's funny about the joke, and it's basically keying in on what serial killers mess up on and how he wouldn't mess up in those same ways. It never came off as like him trying to be edgy. Like, you go along with every element of the joke and you're never like, oh, this is kind of uncomfortable. It's like he knows what he's doing. He was so good. One of my favorite Norm clips is probably the best example of like what made Norm great is Norm was one of the greatest late night guests of all time, especially when he went on Conan. He was just such a great couch guest. And he would go on Conan and he would tell Conan, I want to tell a joke. And Conan would set him up for the joke. And it would be this long-winded, like, nonsensical joke that ends up at a point where you're like, was that all of that for that punchline? But that was the point of it. If you look up this one joke, it's Norm MacDonald. If you look up Norm MacDonald Dolphin on YouTube, it's my favorite example of this. Norm was so good at, like, when he told jokes, making it seem like he didn't know what he was talking about, or like verging off into what seemed like a non sequitur, or like getting people's, like, saying someone's name wrong the second time just to keep you on your toes. He was so good at this shit. And then when he gets to the punchline, it's so effective, even though it's like, come on, man. He did anti-humor without trying too hard. He did observational humor without seeming too, like, basic. I was doing that segment for a few weeks, and I'm bringing it back, where it's like, what is it, one joke I wish I wrote? And I was probably going to do this joke eventually anyway, but in honor of Norm's passing, I'm going to do this joke. Norm has this joke, I'm going to play a clip of it, about IDs. And it's so simple, but so funny.
Hey, this occurred to me today. ID, which I had to show it again. There's a strange abbreviation when you think about it. I is short for I. And then D is short for dentification. They could have split that one up a little better, you know?
What's fascinating about that joke to me is, how did no one else get to that point before? Like, at the, like, professional level, how did no one else, like, get to that joke before? It's such a simple joke, but what makes it is Norm's delivery. Like, the way he says, pauses and says dentification really hits that joke. And Norm had one of the best deliveries in the history of comedy. Like, that's, like, no exaggeration, just one of the best. If you don't know Norm, I just want to use this as a place to, like, promote Norm shit, because the great thing about Norm is he had so much shit on YouTube, like some of his shit, cause like I said, people who fuck with Norm heavily. There are hours and hours and hours of Norm, like, talk show bits, like there's this famous talk show bit in the 90s. Norm is on Conan, and he's on with this actress, Courtney Thorne-Smith, and he just spends his whole time basically shitting on Carrot Top, and it's just so fucking funny. And like Courtney Thorne-Smith and Conan can't like really contribute to shitting on Carrot Top because like that's not their place, but Norm's just going to do it anyway, and it's so good. He had a show called Norm MacDonald Live. He had one of my favorite jokes. I thought about it all weekend during 9/11. It was so crazy that Norm died because like I was just watching a bunch of Norm shit this weekend because one of the best things you could do is go on YouTube and just go down that Norm MacDonald wormhole. But Norm has this joke about 9/11, and again, I'm not going to butcher it, but it's so perfect. I'm going to play it.
Hey, for the 9th consecutive year, Nick, JetBlue Airlines ranked first for satisfaction among all North American airlines. But you know what ranked least in satisfaction? 9/11 Airlines. What a terrible name for an airline. It reminds me of that tragedy. Oh, 9/11. Yeah, don't laugh at 9/11 again. I tried to tell him not to laugh. Adam. I know. I walked through blood and bones in the streets of Manhattan trying to find my brother.
Jesus.
Yeah, he was in northern Canada.
What I love about that joke is it's like it's pretty basic in terms of like 9/11 Airlines is like, you know, not super clever, but what Norm does so well is like take the piss out of something. When he calls 9/11 that tragedy, that's what fucking kills me. It's like the absurdity of calling the most horrifying tragedy in recent American history that tragedy as if it was like just one kind of minor thing. It's so perfect. That's what Norm was so good at. And there's so many clips of shit. There's the famous moth joke. There's the Hitler joke. He's one of the greats. So check out Norm. Rest in peace to the great Norm MacDonald. And damn, man, that shit sucks. And now we're gonna answer questions, and everyone's wondering what I'm gonna say in response. And it's go time. First question. I haven't sent any questions in a while. Do you forgive me? The Diamond Boy always forgives. And you know what's most important is that you're back. So, you know what I mean? It doesn't even matter. Water under the bridge. You failed me for months, but you're back, and that's what's important. What is my favorite picture of myself? I'm not going to reveal it, but I will say I posted it this week. It's one of the pictures I posted this week. You'll see it. It's my current favorite picture of myself. So if you want to take a guess, be my guest. Peg the patriarchy. Is that stupid shit that Cara Delevingne had on at the Met Gala? That shit, man, shut the fuck up. I say that a lot on the show, the word shut the fuck up, but I mean it. Because the Peg the patriarchy shit is just like performative. I'm so, like, same thing. I fuck with AOC's, a lot of her policy shit, but like, wearing a tax the rich dress at the Met Gala is like, come on, bro. We don't need no more performative theater shit. Just do what you believe in. Like, I don't need none of it. Like, and obviously AOC she does shit. She's an actual politician. I don't know what Cara Delevingne does, but like, peg the patriarch, like, that's, watch out, patriarchs. She's gonna peg you, so watch out. You might get pegged. Like, what is even happening? Like, what does that mean? What is that gonna do for anything? And also, I feel like Cara Delevingne is doing a disservice to women who want to peg their men, right? Like, she's setting y'all back in your quest to do that, because most motherfuckers already don't want to do it, right? But now you make it seem like it's some sort of like punishment. It doesn't seem like it's a fun thing. So why would they want to take part in that? So yeah, I mean, and I know Cara Delevingne is a lesbian, I believe. So this is not her concern, but she's fucking it up for other women. It's not only about you, Cara. It's about other motherfuckers. You fucking shit up. So if you really care about women, stop doing dumb shit like wearing a bulletproof vest that says peg the patriarchy. Whatever the fuck you wearing. That shit was dumb. You suck. Go to doodle. I like to draw pies. That's the only thing I can really draw is a pie. Like a steaming hot pie on a windowsill. I like to draw that. I don't do a ton of doodling. But you know what? One thing I used to do a lot when I was in college and I was bored in class is I would just write out the opening sequence to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago the four nations lived together in harmony, but everything changed when the fire nation attacked. Only the Avatar master of all four nations could stop him, but when the world needed the most, he vanished. 100 years passed, my brother and I discovered a new Avatar Airbender named Aang. And although his Airbender is great, he got left over. He ready to save anyone, but I believe Aang can save the world. Yes, I know it by heart. I used to write it a lot over time. I remember one of my friends saw it in my notebook, like, what the fuck? Is this what you do in class? And I was like, nigga, I have an A- in this class, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't need to study. Y'all niggas need to study. I can do this. I can do this all day, in the words of Steve Rogers. What do I think about astrology? I don't. Go-to summer beverage. I mean, obviously you got lemonade, but I think the thing I most crave in the summer is it's an ice cold Topo Chico. It's the best. It's the best carbonated beverage. It's fucking like the intensity of that carbonation is like unmatched. Like it makes other sodas and like seltzers just feel like flat. Like that shit is so fucking bubbly, bruh. Like that shit is insane. Ice cold Topo in the summer with in a glass bottle. Can't be beat. Favorite Star Wars property? I'll probably say The Last Jedi right now. Star Wars Rebels is great as well. The Last Jedi was so good, so inventive, so like challenging as far as like what Star Wars is and what it can be in the future. Follow up to that is Star Wars over or underrated? I'm gonna have to say overrated. And I love Star Wars, but I think it's as a whole, like Star Wars is not great. Like if you just go through it, right? Original Star Wars, great. Empire Strikes Back, great. Return of the Jedi, good. Phantom Menace is terrible. I know the person who asked this question is going to disagree, but that movie's terrible. Attack of the Clones is probably the worst thing in all of Star Wars. Revenge of the Sith is not good. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, this is the best of the trilogy." It's not. It's just not a good movie. The Force Awakens, I wouldn't say it's very good, but it's watchable. It's hella watchable, and you got to give it credit for that. The Last Jedi is incredible, and The Rise of Skywalker, like I said, is abysmal. Rogue One is good. Solo is not very good, but I liked it. Their shooting percentages is not very high. So it's overrated, but I love Star Wars. SNL, South Park, The Simpsons. Are those shows still needed, and can they ever end? Well, I mean, obviously they're not needed anymore. There's only a period of time for anything. Any musician, any like visual artist, any novelist, whatever, where you could be totally vital and speaking to the zeitgeist and important and needed. You can still be good, but there's only going to be maybe like a 10, 15-year period for most people at most, where you're going to be like, like the go-to guy for what's happening now and what's important, whatever. Like, it's just how it is. Someone or something is going to come after you and speak to what's happening now better than you can. But that doesn't mean you can't be good anymore. But can they ever end? SNL will probably have the easiest time ending. Think about SNL, with their benefit is they don't have to like wrap up any storylines or like, you know what I mean? It's just like they could just, bring back old sketches or whatever. They could just do a clip show and end it. Like it's the easiest probably. It's probably the easiest one to end. South Park is probably second easiest because, again, it's not as much through line. Like there's obviously a through line through the show, but it's like a lot of that stuff doesn't necessarily carry over. So they could just kind of end it however they want it. They could just do another movie. The Simpsons, I think, it was just it should have ended so long ago. There would be so much weight on that finale that it would never please anyone. Like I used to always say, like the only way the Simpsons could really end is if they did the couch gag. Like everyone sat down on the couch and then they just sat there and blinked at you for 30 minutes. They just did nothing. Because there's no way you could actually have a satisfying end to that show because there's too much weight on it. It was the show and now it's not. And it's been on for so long. There's no way to like really end it properly. Like nothing should last that long. Just end it. Stop. It's over. That's the segment. That's the show. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Showman International Film Festival is coming this upcoming week. I know I said that last week, but I had some scheduling conflicts and shit. But it's coming for real. We're going to be talking about Michael K. Williams. We're going to be talking about Shang-Chi and some other shit. Rest in peace, Norm MacDonald. You're the best. And as always, Hulk Hogan, coming for you, nigga.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.